Hello and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and thank you for joining me for today's video all about some simple ways you can improve your life before 2020. Now you might be saying, Sarah, it's only September. We still have several months left and I'm definitely not trying to wish away the year. However, I know that oftentimes the end of a year is a time where people start to reflect and think about what they'd like to do differently. And in my opinion, a really awesome strategy instead is to think, how can I make the positive steps before I get to that point and be grateful that I started rather than wishing I would have? So that's kind of the premise of today's video, but there is something else very exciting happening. And this week, you're actually going to get a video from me every single day this week because I am counting down to the launch of the Better with Less course. This is the second official launch. Registration closes on Friday night at 11:59 p.m. and course materials become available Saturday morning. The Better with Less course is a 12-week course designed to help you transform your life and your space within 12 weeks, going in different sections. I will link a page below that has a lot more details, as well as a video where I talked about the course. It's been so much fun to work with my past students, and I'm thrilled to be offering it again, but registration closes on Friday. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, but just so you know, you've got new videos from me every single day this week as we count down, and today there are 5 days left till the course begins. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the simple ways that you can improve your life before 2020. Idea number one is to create a new experience with loved ones or people that you care about rather than simply catching up. I know sometimes I kind of find myself in the rut of you see people, but when you do, it's mostly to catch up. It's easy to catch up over a meal or catch up over like going for a walk. And with these kind of things, it's definitely fun to still see that person. And it's meaningful because you obviously care about them and you want to learn more about what's been happening with them. But when you're doing that, you're only really reminiscing and you're not actually creating something fun, like a new experience or memory to have together. And again, there's nothing wrong with the catching up process, but I feel like oftentimes one of the most meaningful things we can do is to actually do something new or different or fun that will be a new memory rather than just reliving the past. Obviously, this can be difficult from a scheduling perspective, but if you have anyone in your life that you'd like to spend more time with, and you also feel that maybe you're living in the past a little bit and reminiscing a lot, why not try to incorporate a fun experience instead? I think you'll really enjoy it. Idea number two is to incorporate a self-care habit. There are so many different ways we can practice self-care that it can honestly get a little overwhelming with how many options there are, but just stick to one. Try something new that you haven't done before. Have you ever journaled before? I know in the past when I journaled daily, that was something I really enjoyed. Maybe it's exercise. I think that's definitely an area that's my big self-care strategy that I want to do better at, especially since I'm working from home and not as active. Maybe it has to do with mindfulness or reducing your caffeine intake or your sweets. Maybe it's incorporating some extra me time in the day. Whatever the case is, if you can pick one habit, even if it's simple, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, that can make a huge difference. To help hold you accountable, it can be helpful to track your habits. And you can do this many different ways. A very simple thing to do is to just put a star on a calendar next to the days that you did the habit, and you can see what your trends are and how many days you're able to complete it. Tip number 3 is to stop procrastinating. And procrastination can be very frustrating, and usually there is a root cause. Maybe we don't want to do something, or it feels like it's tedious or not worth our time. I was reflecting about this in preparation of making this video and thought, am I really procrastinating on anything? I think I've been doing a lot better at it, but then I realized cleaning the shower. Personally, cleaning the shower is not something I enjoy, and it's been a little while. So in honor of making this video and, making sure I am not procrastinating either, I clean the shower. So find those tasks in your life that you've been putting off. Maybe the task itself seems way worse than it's going to be. I know sometimes we can build up certain tasks in our head and think that it's going to be this terrible task. And really, maybe it was just an uncomfortable 15 minutes. Sometimes we even dwell about these tasks longer than the time it actually takes to do them. So I encourage you to identify what those things are and knock them out, especially if you've got anything that's been lingering on your to-do list for a long time. Number 4 is to declutter your life. I'm sure if you have been someone who's done some decluttering, you can already feel the benefits after you've simplified a space. But if you've been putting off certain areas, or if you feel like you're stuck in a certain spot, really trying to push through and have some extra momentum to be able to accomplish that and knock this out so that you're able to have that fresh start for the new year, I think is amazing. I know a lot of people focus on decluttering as a New Year's resolution and a goal for themselves for the new year. But the thing is, you don't have to wait. Why not try to knock it out during these last few months of 2019 so you can start 2020 with a space that is fresh and that you love and it's clean and open? I think that would be a really awesome change for yourself and just a great starting point for whatever other goals you might want to set for the new year. And as I mentioned before, if that is something you'd like to do and you'd like some motivation to help you, some accountability, to work with me a little bit directly, lots of resources, I would highly recommend checking out the Better with Less course. Please leave any questions you have in the comments below. And like I said earlier, I have links in the description field that will give you more information if you're curious. And lastly, for number 5, to kind of bring it back to sort of an emotional place, make the time to tell people how you actually feel about them. I've definitely always been very much the sappy type, and I really enjoy telling people that I care about them. But I know that there are situations where we might have neglected telling people how we felt about them, and maybe we didn't get the chance to, such as if someone passed away or if a person just was no longer part of our life. I also think too, there's a lot of pain and suffering in the world. And so if we are able to spread joy and positivity and really have meaningful exchanges and connections with other people, I think that just helps brighten things up and bring more positivity. There is probably a lot of people who have had an impact on you that have no idea. And so I'd encourage you, whoever that is, whether it's family members, friends, if there's people you really respect, even if you're, leaving a comment on a YouTube video for someone or connecting with someone on social media, that can still be a meaningful way to connect. I know I love giving that information to others, how they've impacted my life, but it also feels really good to receive that. I know as a teacher, it always felt really nice if a student wrote you a note or something. I adore your YouTube comments. You guys are the sweetest. So all of that, it really matters. So I'd encourage you to not leave these words unspoken during the remainder of 2019 if possible. Thank you so much for watching this video with these 5 simple ways you can improve your life before the end of 2019. I hope it was enjoyable, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.